Hello, this is the Naked Englishman video on the 14th of October 2011, and as you can see I'm in my podcast studio where I do voiceovers and of course the podcast. Occasionally I do the Naked Englishman, although mostly the Naked Englishman is on my Zoom recorder, which actually I don't have to hand, so I can't demonstrate that. I thought it'd been a while since I have recorded a video for the Naked Englishman. Mostly I wander about the house and sometimes down to the coast or over at Harriet's place or wherever I happen to be, and just do a quick impromptu thing. And I thought, just for a change, I'd do a video. The last video was me sat at another computer doing the I think it was Lewis Castle for the Lewis episode of The Bald Explorer. Well, I can tell you, sorry about the squeaky chair by the way, I don't know why it's as squeaky, it probably needs some oil. And all I have got here is Grandstead's lemonade. But there you go. The Bald Explorer episode number 2, which is all about travel in history, shot in Shropshire, mainly around Shrewsbury, at Middle and at Atcham as well, will be coming out hopefully in the next few days actually. So check the website if you towards the end of October, and you should catch it then. Hopefully you'll like it. Slightly different from the Lewis one. My thanks go to Georgie, my daughter, who was helping me on the camera work on that one, and everybody else obviously who's put in their input, Harriet particularly, who's kept me enthused on the project and put me up at her place whilst up in Shrewsbury, which has been good. The third episode, I'm keen to carry on and keep making them as much as I can, because we're now into sort of autumn and heading into winter. Rather than doing something that's sort of miles away and is going to cause me problems driving, I'm thinking of doing the next one, which will be a historic crime, an investigation, but also an exploration of the counties that this crime took place in back in the 18th century, through, let me think, there's Kent, I think it's Kent, but certainly East and West Sussex and Hampshire, and particularly Hampshire, and it may involve me riding on a horse. I need to see if I can get hold of a horse to get some of the shots that I want to do. We will see. So that could be quite fun, and so I'm hoping to shoot that maybe in November if I can get the script sorted and be ready to out and about to do it. So that's quite nice. Part of the research for that, I'm relying on Google Books, which is good because you can download the PDFs of old out-of-print books. And I've been thinking that what I need is something to read them rather than on the computer, so that one can sort of kick back a bit and relax and really read. Something like a Kindle or a tablet. Now I did think a tablet at first, but I've been chatting away to people online, and it does seem that the Kindle is actually quite good for PDFs, and also of course plain text, to be able to read, and of course it's much cheaper than, say, I wouldn't go for an Apple product, but some of the other tablets as well. So that's a possibility. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I'm also thinking of changing my phone. It's coming to the end of my BlackBerry contract, and we've had that recent debacle with the Blackberries all going down for 3.5 days, depending on where you are. And I suppose it would be nice to have again a slightly more modern phone, perhaps a Windows phone is what my son Stanley is recommending, so that a bit more of a smartphone so that you can watch all the stuff. Again, I'm not keen on Apple products, so I probably wouldn't go down that road. I don't like anything that's too proprietary, and for me Apple and its iTunes, the fact that you have to have iTunes and you do it all, plug it into that, and all the different what I can see is the sort of IDs that people have to have. I don't like any of that. So that's that. Next year, I'm already started thinking, using this Bald Explorer brand. There's a website called, and people have told me about this. What is it called? Crowdfunding, and there's a website called Kickstarter. And I want to put together a proposition video proposal to make the video that I've been itching to do for a while, and that is the journey and the exploration of the Great North Road from London to Edinburgh, up the old, well, it's now the A1, but it would have been the old London to Edinburgh Road, the Great North Road as it's known, and looking at all the different places on there, the modes of transport and various things. But it would be quite an involved project and would need some money, and there's lots of interesting places en route to investigate and explore. So I'm thinking of going on this Kickstarter and seeing if one could make money. Now I think the way that Kickstarter works is that you pitch a certain amount of money, and if you get enough people over so many months that say they will pledge the money, until that money has all been collected in pledge form, then and unless that happens, you don't get anything. If that happens, then everyone's told they've got to pay up, and then you get your budget, so that no one effectively is kind of pledging for money and then thinking, well, it may or may not happen, and I may end up giving him some money and he only gets half of what he needs, and then he's got my money and he can't do the project and it's all over. Whereas this basically says until you've got the money, then essentially it means that the project will happen, and if the project's happening, that's when they pay up, so nobody loses their money on nothing. And you work out how people get what they get back for it, whether that's their name on the credit, whether that's I don't know, copies obviously of the video or a DVD or a t-shirt or whatever else bits and pieces that you are going to give in return. It may be, I suppose it could be, if there were sales, they get a percentage of the sales. I'm not quite really sure, but I'm going to investigate that, so I thought that would be quite good. And the other thing, obviously, having now done 2 Bald Explorers, or will have, there's quite a few outtakes, and I thought it'd be quite jolly to put together a sort of bleepers or bloopers, depending on how you like to call them, little video, so I'll work on that as well. So lots going on the work front. I'm also, and I haven't done this, you would expect me to have done this, a Vobes the filmmaker type of, not corporate, I don't want to sort of give the impression that I do corporate work, although corporate work is what I would do, but I want to sort of put together a website that says I am a professional filmmaker, and if corporations want to hire me for those services, that's fine. I don't do weddings, I don't do event photography or anything like that. It is something that is a bit more interesting, is kind of what I'm trying to say, is I'm an experienced documentary maker, filmmaker, so maybe a charity with money who want a documentary about their charity or this, that and the other, then that's what I would be interested in. And of course the other thing I can offer is the fact that not only do I film it and edit it and do some graphics, etc, etc, but also I can present it if they don't mind a bloke with a gammy eye, well, a fake eye. So I need to sort of get on that. So lots of positive things, and of course still going to be pitching the Bald Explorer to the television. So that's a long-term sort of project and goal. So who knows what's going to happen there. But anyway, so this has been my little update. I hope it's been of interest, and keep listening to the Naked Englishman, which is my more day-to-day sort of worries, concerns, and just reports on what goes on generally. But this is my the podcast studio, but I'm going to be going back up into my editing area and finish off, hopefully in the next few days, the Bald Explorer Episode 2, Travel, which is its little sub-name, and I will tweet that out at Vobes, at Bald Explorer, and possibly at Vobes Show, all those Twitter accounts I've got, so no excuse not to miss it. And of course it'll be on my YouTube channel. So there you go. Thanks for listening, watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.